You're listening to.
You are listening to.
You're listening.
Yo, what up, bitches? You're listening to Hey Poopy Podcast. Get your shit on.
Hey Poopy, how you doing? Hey Poopy, how you doing?
I'm just, trying to find a place with like-minded people to talk about like-minded things about me, about poop and stuff.
Hey Poopy, how you doing? Hey Poopy, how you doing?
Oh man, what's this right here? Is this a podcast about poop?
And now, the Hey Poopy Podcast with Dave and Ellen.
Yes, we are back on Dump Day.
Yay! I'm so excited today. I'm also half asleep. This is the Hey Poopy Podcast with
Dave
and Ellen, and this is episode 79, but it'll always be number 2 to us.
It's a lot of episodes.
It is. We're raking them in.
I mean, it's like 79 is a lot, but then I look at other wet podcasts, you're like, oh, they're on like their 500th episode. You're like, okay, so ours is like just barely starting in that regard.
Well, it means we're 79 weeks in because we come out one a week.
Yeah.
So
that's a lot.
That's bananas. We have this amazing guest, Boo Bess, on today.
I'll
What's
be
up?
Boo Bess today.
Ooh,
Pooh
Boo
Bess.
Bess. Her alter ego. Well, actually, since
Poops
quarantine, I'm just counting, Dave, looking at our spreadsheet, that this is the 18th episode we've done via at home, call in.
Being quarantined.
Yeah.
Quarantine
sessions.
podcast. Yeah.
Yeah. It's a lot. Well, no one's going
18
anywhere,
episodes. That is a lot.
so people are like locked at home, so
Yeah.
we can
I listened to
make this
Bambi's
happen.
this morning.
Oh,
That was a
brilliant,
great one.
right?
It was a
It was
good
so
one.
good.
I don't know how I'm going to live up
Goddamn.
to that, honestly.
Well, she's a national treasure, so.
It's true.
But she just brought it. Like,
Yeah, she had so many good things. I was talking to her after the fact. We were
You
cracking up
were?
on the phone. Yeah, like after she was dying, she's like, "Oh my god, what did I just do?" I'm like, "You're fine."
I like how most of those stories were secrets from Chuck. Like he
Yeah.
doesn't still probably know them.
I mean, probably not. I could see him being like, "What? That happened?"
I took notes. I listened to Bambi's thing and I was like, okay, I got to get my shit together. Pun
Literally.
intended.
Yeah.
and we love notes. Notes are the best.
Don't come empty-handed.
Yes. Unprepared, empty-handed. We don't like it. Don't bother.
So
Bring the poo.
notes are appreciated. So thank you
Yes.
for that.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
Before we go into who Boo Bess is, we like to go into how have you been pooing?
I've been pooing pretty good. You know, I'm a pretty regular pooer.
Ooh.
I'm a almost like clockwork first thing in the morning. Very often my need to poo is what gets me out of bed.
Oh.
If it's not my dog's need to poo, it's somebody's need to poo.
Right.
Gets me out of bed.
Yes.
Okay.
We
good.
are a dog family too, and if you don't walk them, they will poo on your floor. So,
That's correct.
yeah. And did I send you the Bristol stool chart? Do you
I'm
know
looking
what
at it right now.
your doo-doo looks like?
So I would say, because I'm pretty lactose intolerant, but I eat cheese anyway. my chart will depend on how much dairy I've had.
Right.
So I think this morning was a pretty healthy 4.
Oh, congrats.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Although
Felt
I
the
think
perfect
that
4.
I think that 2s and 3s are the most emotionally satisfying poos. You know, because you like feel like there's this thing, you're like hard and it hurts and you can like, it's in your body and then it like is gone. I imagine it's similar to what giving birth feels like.
Wow. I would. That sounds masochistic. I like it. Just. I don't want to feel. I just want it to be out. I don't want to feel any roughage or.
Like the kind of thing where you like take a deep breath out. You're like, oh yes, it's like I'm like 40 pounds lighter.
Those are the poo-poos I talk to, and I'm like, poo-poo, you need to leave the body. Leave the body, please. I literally, and I'm not joking, I sit on the toilet like, poo-poo, leave the body. Leave
You call
the
it
body.
poo-poo?
Yeah, I tell my poo-poo.
That's cute.
I don't get
Yeah.
that personal with mine. I'm like, I got
I
shit.
don't either.
I sit down and it comes out. Everyone's like talking to it and shit.
I'm a quick pooer too. Like when I feel the urge to poo, I sit down and it's out. It comes out.
That's the way
no,
to do
no
it.
waiting. There's
Yeah,
no
you shouldn't
pushing.
be hanging out like on the toilet. It's not really good.
I don't understand this people who need 20 minutes to poo or like bring
I mean,
a book.
I've been in there. I've just done that where you're just kind of like, oh, look at my phone or something. You're like, shit, I've been here way too long.
Sure, but like it's not like you're pooping that whole time. You just keep sitting after the poo's out, right?
I don't know. Sometimes I feel like I've gone to the bathroom. I'm like, oh, there's more coming. I know there's more coming, and it just like happens.
Oh,
So
that's the worst
then it's
when
like
you can't
15
get it
minutes.
all.
Yeah. Or the worst is like when your legs fall asleep, which doesn't happen too often, but it does every once in a while. And I'm like, I've been in this toilet way too fucking long. So you don't want
can't
that.
say
It's
that's
called
ever happened to
hemorrhoid
me.
city.
Yeah.
When you're sitting there too long, you're going straight to hemorrhoid city.
Yeah. Knock on wood, I've never had those. Thank God.
Me
At least
neither.
none that I've felt.
I have.
But I'd say pretty often, at least once a week, I'll have a poo where like the whole thing doesn't come out.
Mm-hmm.
There's like maybe you have to pinch it off, or it's not big enough. What's left in there isn't big enough to push, so you just gotta. I'm like, all right, I'm just gonna let it. It's gotta percolate more.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's why I like using the bidet for that. The bidet helps excavate some of that the
Interesting.
leftovers.
It does.
Okay, well, I'm 35 years old and I've
unblocks
still
it.
never used a bidet.
You got to
I know,
get a
I'm sorry.
snap-on one.
I know you've told me this before. I know there's a whole section later for pooping accoutrement, but I also don't have a squatty potty, and they make those fancy ass Lucite ones now. They're so nice.
You see some books. You don't even need to like get all fancy with it. Seriously.
But then the anything that's in your bathroom, and you know this, is covered in fecal matter if you don't close the lid. If you close the lid, you're fine.
I close
But if
my lid.
anybody ever flushes without closing the lid, poop gets all over everything. So
Yep.
if you have books in your bathroom, your books are going to get covered in poo.
Well, some books that maybe just go find some books on the street for free that you don't care about.
Oh yeah, they're
And
already
wrap
covered
them
in
in
somebody
plastic.
else's.
Because my only
poo,
thing
yeah.
about the squatty potty I don't like is like it's just a generic uniform height. So if you're like short or tall, it doesn't like you're both sitting on the same thing.
That's
So you have to so the books you can kind of like sort of slide and make your own custom version of it, or maybe you
Squatty
can find
potties
adjustable
could
ones.
double as like a kid step too. Like when you were a little
Totally.
kid, did your parents have a little stool?
I did
in the
not have
bathroom?
one.
I don't think so. I don't remember that.
We did,
I
but
don't
we
remember.
used the same stool to poop as we would to stand on to brush our teeth.
Whoa.
Oh, I definitely did not have that.
It had a little.
I think my
had a
parents
little-
had they probably had like a
wood,
step stool.
and it had a little duck painted on it.
Aw.
My parents had like a little step stool or something for me to stand
Yeah,
on.
like a little step stool.
No, but like they like a generic one they'd use for like the whole house. Like I just walk up on a
Oh,
ladder.
it doesn't live in the bathroom.
No, it was like here, just use this, and then. I mean, I can't even remember that, but yeah, I'm sure there was something in there.
So, Dave, how's your poos been?
I've been okay. I had like a 4.5, 5 today,
Oh.
and yeah, it was
Only
pretty
once?
quick. Only once today.
Oh.
Yeah, so there'll be more. I'm sure there'll be another one
Yeah.
tonight.
I pinched off 2 3s today.
Ooh.
I'm not as excited about that because they were a little dry, and I've been drinking a lot of water, so I'm a little confused by it. But yesterday, I could boldly say I was constipated and didn't poop at all. So I'm glad today it's coming out
Nice.
better than staying
It's
in.
better than staying in.
Yeah,
Yeah.
get it out.
So
that shit out.
that was a little nerve wracking. But I did take a Swiss Chris last night to make sure I lubed it up for today.
Please explain to me what you just said.
Swiss Chris is a laxative.
Oh,
Yeah.
a pill?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
They're
I
like-
take it. Jason Weicker, who is one of our guests, he told us about it, and it's more of a natural laxative, but it has some like hardcore stuff in it. But it has a lot of like herbs in it. But in Google
So it's
it,
somewhere between like eating prunes and taking an X-Lax.
exactly. It's
Got
like
it.
if those two met. So I took one of those last night because I was like, if I go a whole day constipated, I have to get in there and fix the problem. 24 hours is the max I can handle.
I've only been terribly, terribly constipated once in my life.
Oy.
And I was a little kid, but I remember it vividly. But it was like a week or
Oy.
more.
Oh, that's awful.
That's
so
bad.
what happened?
Painful. I remember spending days sitting on a toilet eating bags of dried fruit. So like a bag of prunes or like a bag of dried apricots. I think probably prunes mostly. And when that didn't work, my mom had to do an at-home enema.
Oh.
And it was the most painful, horrible thing.
Oof.
Where
That
you
sucks.
you put your chest on the ground, and stick your butt in the air. And then she like shoved this thing in my butthole and what's this called?
A tube?
Syringe?
Oh, a syringe.
Oh, those bulb
where you,
things, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and then like squeezed it in, and then you're supposed to just sit there with your ass up for as long as you possibly can while your insides feel like they're on fire. It's horrible. And then
That
when you finally
sucks.
sit on the toilet, it's just like fully like peeing out of your butthole.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, really loosens it.
Ugh. That
That's
sucks.
painful. Very
Yeah.
strong memory, that.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
I have a vivid memory. I have no memory of being. I mean, I guess I was constipated definitely when I was younger, but never like as an adult too much.
Never as an adult. I mean, I guess I've gone a day without pooping, or like the one that's in there just takes
Yeah, but
a while.
not
but
a week. I'm sure. Like that would be crazy. Like a
Yeah,
week
a
as an
week?
adult. That's nuts. Something's wrong.
I have a friend who only poops once a week.
Oh, no.
That's like her
crazy.
regular.
no,
day.
that's so unhealthy.
I know.
Ugh.
I know.
So unhealthy.
It's not good.
Yeah.
Her insides must look like fucking just like a dried out husk.
Yeah. Yeah. You need more water in that diet.
Yeah.
I think she might struggle with like actually like irritable bowel,
Yeah.
like bowel
yes.
issues.
Yeah, constipation is one of them. There's those two sides of the spectrum. So
Yeah, that sucks. Oof.
Constipation and explosive diarrhea.
Yep.
Those are the opposite ends.
Yep. They exist for irritable bowel, and I've had both because I have irritable bowels.
Yes. So that's why you're an expert and passionate about poo.
Yes, I am very passionate.
You truly are.
When I was little, and I've said it many times before, my brother used to always say, "My number one problem is my number two problem."
Have you had any guests that are like scat fetishists?
Besides the mistress we had, the dominatrix, she told us a lot about that.
But it's not her fetish. She has like participated in it for her work.
Yes, but we are always open and looking.
Yeah, put that out into the universe.
Yes,
Because I would be fascinated to hear what that person thinks about life.
Dave found this podcast that's not our podcast, but somebody else, and they were talking about a blumpkin on there, and I'm dying to get somebody.
Is that a
who's
poop
into-
on the chest?
No, that's when you're pooping and get a blowjob.
Oh, right.
Yeah, it's
Dave, do you want to tell more?
No, I mean I have this.
Hey, baby, taking a shit. You want to blow me?
Is that a new one?
Yeah. That comes from Tom Segura. I could not. I was crying. I was laughing so hard. He was talking about that. But yeah,
Cleveland steamer. Have you ever heard that?
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. I did a play. There was a line in a play. Somebody had to explain it to me.
And a hot Carl,
What's that?
another word for a poop.
Yeah. I've heard Chicago steamer, Cleveland steamer.
But Cleveland steamer is when you poop in a box of chocolate donuts.
Oh! I thought it was just like a way of saying pooping.
I thought it was like a whole like shit on someone's chest kind of thing.
Okay, so we all have different ideas
Yeah,
about
that's
what
what
this is.
I heard-
I was told that it's you know those like Entenmann's chocolate covered donuts. You take those, and I guess you take the donuts out or eat them or whatever, but and then you shit in the box and close it and give it to somebody.
No, I heard.
So it steams up the like saran, top.
I've always known it as the you're just shitting on someone's chest. But that's interesting. The donut one. The donut one seems like tame compared to the fucking chest.
Shitting on a chest. That's true.
Oh my god, that's pretty
The other one's
fucking.
like a
That's
prank.
aggressive.
What's the prank where you shit in the top part of somebody's something?
Upper decker.
Upper decker.
Upper decker. Yeah.
Yeah, the upper decker is a good one. Then there's like the rusty trombone.
That's a finger in the butthole
And then
and a
you put
tongue in the butthole with your hand on the dick.
Yeah. And there's the dirty Sanchez, where you just stick your finger in someone's ass and then you wipe it on someone's like under their nose.
Oh, right. One of my favorite burlesque names I ever heard was Flirty Sanchez.
Well, yeah, right here. So according to Urban Dictionary, Cleveland steamer, when having engaged in intercourse, the male or female lets his or her partner, or whatever their pronouns are, fall asleep and then take a crap in their chest and run away.
Take a crap and run away.
That's
That's
that
so
was
funny. I'm on Urban Dictionary, and it says that you have to. The important part is you crap on their chest and then sit down and rock back and forth like a steamroller.
well. There's six definitions of Cleveland steamer on Urban Dictionary. So.
Okay, so then it's something else steamer. The poop in the chocolate donut box is something steamer, and I don't remember the name of it. Boston steamer? I don't know.
Well, this one it's also known as a Pasadena mudslide or California hot plate, which is so funny. That is so good. Oh my god, I love it. Yeah, I think it's like could be any of these really, but it's pretty funny regardless. I mean, I wouldn't want that done to me. I'd fucking lose my mind if someone did that to me.
It'll come to me. I'll text you guys later when I remember what it's actually called.
Let's see.
I just Googled donut box shit just to see what would come up. And on Reddit, of course, it says this man really took a shit in a donut box and then dipped. And it's a picture of a guy.
That's pretty funny. Yeah, I'm looking at that too. There's no actual sort of like term for it, but I mean, disgusting would be the first place.
I think it'd be a nice gift to give to police officers because they like donuts.
Box.
Yeah. We could just switch it out and give them a bunch of poo.
There was my friend collects flyers from like just random like people post like around neighborhoods. And she has this one whole like just giant book. It's so funny. And one of the prized possessions is the one with this woman put up in Greenpoint. It's a picture of this dude who looks mentally challenged, like big time. But his name was Frank, and it's like this man shit in my kitchen. He came over, he fucked me and shit in my kitchen, then pieced. And like it's like one of.
It was the flyer. I saw a picture of it.
Yeah, I posted it like on Instagram like a bunch of times.
You posted it, of course.
But my friend has it like in a gallery of all her like sort of like found flyers, and it's one of my favorite ones.
Oh,
yeah,
brilliant!
It's like beware the women of Greenpoint. Beware of this guy.
This man shit in my kitchen.
Yeah, pieced. That was the best part. And pieced.
And pieced.
Yeah.
Going back to constipation really quick.
Yes.
Dave and I are both big fans of the Howard Stern show. And I don't know, Dave, if you fully heard this week's episode, but I know our episode won't come out for like a couple of weeks. But there was a character on it who was so badly constipated and in so much pain, he stuck his fingers up his butt and scooped the poop out to relieve himself. And all these doctors called in and said, this is a real thing.
It is a real thing.
Yeah. People come into the hospital so badly constipated that it needs to be scooped out.
I imagine doctors use a tool.
Yeah, maybe.
Sure.
Like I'm picturing like a spoon, like a cocktail spoon.
Well, one guy called up, one doctor called up and was saying like, yeah, all the first year residents, that's like their job. Is to go get the impaction out. Like, just take it out. And the gloves.
Do you remember Whitney Houston telling a story about Bobby Brown pulling poop out of her butt?
Yes.
Yeah, Ellen.
Well, I actually found the clip, and I'll text it to you after Boo Bess, but I found the clip, and Whitney doesn't tell the story. Bobby tells the story while Whitney's getting dolled up, and she's like, we're not going to talk about that. But I brought it up on the podcast a couple episodes ago because I physically had to do that to myself recently. The poop was coming out of my butthole, but it wouldn't completely leave. Oh. So I had to take a piece of toilet paper and pull it out.
Was there something in it, like when you have to pull a hair out of a dog's butt?
I wish. It was the first time this has ever happened to me in my entire life. And I was like, why? I'm 42 years old and I'm pulling shit out of my own
disgusting.
Ass. Is this my future?
That is horrible.
I can imagine being that desperate.
Fucking, I don't know. I
said on the podcast, I was like, we're going to call this the Whitney Houston. And Dave was like, what are you talking about?
That Whitney Houston thing was so depressing watching that. I mean, I would never let that ever be on a syndicated television show.
Yeah, I just remember her seeing Not Bothered that he was telling this story.
No way.
She was just like, yep, that happened.
There's no fucking way. Like, there's just no way. That's just so, oh my God. Do you think Beyonce would fucking do that? Nope. Like, never.
Anybody with a right mind, except for me.
I'd be like, no, man. I'd be like, fuck. I'm not signing any release. So you have to blur me out and take my voice out, and like I do not. I would
Drugs
never.
are crazy.
I
The
guess it
things
just
that they
goes
make
to
you
show
do.
you, Ellen, that you never, you're 46 and you've never had to pull poop out of your own butt before. Like, we all have so much to look forward to. So many new experiences.
Yeah. What? And I'm 42, honey, not
I thought you
46.
said I was like 46.
You're like aging her.
Sorry. 42.
Jesus Christ.
32.
Give me those 4 years back. Oh, my goodness.
Even if that happened to me, I would never admit that.
I would.
We have a podcast about poop.
Yeah, I was gonna
Dave,
say.
and you wouldn't admit it?
I'd admit that, like, I have to, like, let it sort of, like, mentally sit for a minute. If I had to stick my hand up my ass and, like, that's just insane.
Would you ever let your wife stick her finger in your butthole and pull your poop out?
She would never do that.
She wouldn't? Even
No.
if you were, like, sobbing?
I don't.
Like crying, like, in so much
If it was
pain?
something like, if I was, like, passed out and they're like, this is the only way it can happen. Like, doctor was like on the phone, like, you got to go in there and do it. Like,
Well, if there's no time, you're going to lose
like
him if you don't
maybe
get this out of him
maybe
right
she
now.
would do that, but she would fucking. I mean, no. If I was like, hey, can you? She's not like any kind of like anything related to like that area that could potentially be on her. So
Well, we have talked about in the past that we truly think love isn't romance. Love is when your significant other shits themselves
Yeah.
and you help them get out of that clothing.
I mean, I would do it if she
Yeah.
needed it, but I mean, I wouldn't like it.
No. None of us like it, but
I would
that's
be-
true love.
I'd be, like,
when you
retching
do
in the
that
corner,
for
like,
somebody else.
I mean, it's true. You can be desensitized to poop, especially if you've ever, like, raised a baby.
Yeah.
I've never raised
I
a
was
baby. So.
I was a nanny for a long time, so I've gotten a lot of other people's poop on my hand. Like, baby poop gets on you.
Oh my god!
And
Yeah.
it's poop stuff with babies is a mess.
Yeah. Our last
Sometimes it
episode-
shoots all out of everywhere and goes up their back.
But see,
and
to
gets
me,
in
like
their
that's
hair.
that's a little bit less traumatizing than a fucking human,
An adult poop.
doing it. Like, I mean, I'm sure there's still smell of the baby, but like to have an adult person just have shit all over you, I would like I would be fucked up for like a while. It would mess me up.
Yeah. I have do you want a story about this?
Oh, wait. Before
No.
we go, we were supposed to check in and then ask you about yourself.
Yeah,
So
sorry.
people,
we went on a tangent.
I know we like just like going off, but before we go into fully what all about Boo Bess's poo.
Oh, yeah.
Just tell us briefly about yourself and who you are.
Oh, okay.
That's non-poo related.
Yeah, just as a person, non-poo.
Yeah.
I'm a I don't know. Everything in the world is so crazy. Everything
Well, what
used
did
to-
you do before quarantine?
Yeah, in the before times. So I'm a burlesque host, and MC, and producer, and cabaret person, burlesque dancer, actor. My legal name is Anna Bridgeforth, and I am a performer under that name. And like, I don't know, just like trying to hustle as an artist.
Yes.
Been doing that for a while. Actually, this year was the first year that I completely made my living and lived nicely in Brooklyn just as an artist. No supplemental job.
Wow.
That's amazing.
Yeah,
Congratulations.
it's a big milestone actually to finally get there.
Nice.
Yeah, completely. And then COVID happened.
And then COVID happened,
Yeah.
and now I can't do shit. I mean, I guess I've been doing shows online, but it's so weird and it's not the same thing. And
Yeah.
you know, who knows what New York's going to look like after this? What venues will survive? Everything's just a giant question mark for everybody, no matter what industry you live in. But, you know, New York is such a hub for live entertainment.
Yeah.
And all the
Yeah.
live, you know, from Broadway to like, you know, some dive bar with a mic stand in the back. So
Yep.
it's-
Completely.
I don't know.
Yeah, it's
I don't
gonna
know
be
what's
weird.
next. I'm not leaving New York though.
No.
Not yet.
No.
I'll know when it's time.
Yeah. When there's no restaurants, no clubs, no, which is that's
I
my only thing is
guess,
I don't
like-
get how this is like when all these phases open up. Like what? I don't know what places are going to be left to go to.
No
Like, there's
idea.
not gonna be,
And
like-
because it's like they're going to open outdoor seating first, but it's like how many places in New York actually have outdoor seating?
Yeah.
Rooftop restaurants with hotels with rooftop restaurants maybe? I don't know. Maybe people will start putting restaurants on roofs. I mean, I know there's some, but
But that only works for so long. I know it's summer right now, but when it gets like freezing
half
cold,
the year it's useless.
Yeah.
There's a lot of places in Brooklyn here. Fort
Clinton
Greene,
Hill?
Clinton Hill, Bed-Stuy. There's a bunch of like little outdoor spots. Like, just like little right on the sidewalk. Park
Yeah,
Slope.
I mean, where
But
you
it's
can
not
do like
like
6 tables maybe.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. It's like, I barely went to those when everything was like normal.
Yeah.
So I probably won't be going to those as much.
But
So,
also,
yeah.
like, I keep thinking about that's a great idea, but people have to take off their masks to eat and drink. I mean, that's scary just in itself.
I mean, but it's technically, if you're outside, you can distance the tables.
Yeah.
So
But the
that
person who's waiting on you,
would probably have to wear a mask.
but they would touch your stuff that had been all your germs on it. So it's a scary new time we're in.
I sort of have liked it, like in Bed-Stuy, and I think it's everywhere, but the bars that are doing to-go drinks.
Oh my God. I love it.
They're being really lax about the open container law, so you can take it and then just like stroll around the neighborhood sipping on your margarita. I kind of love that.
Which goes to the point, like, they could have fucking been doing this the whole time. It's like there's no problem apparently, but like the pandemic.
I guess smart people were doing it before. It's like you know how you can go to the beach and as long as you take the thing out of the container, they can't prove how much alcohol's in it. Or like guys selling nutcrackers. Actually, Do or Dive in Bed-Stuy sell nutcrackers now to go,
that's good to know.
and it's awesome.
I love nutcrackers, but they were fucking with the nutcracker guys for like last summer, big time. Towards the end of the summer,
they were cracking down.
Yeah, like arresting on the beach. So it's kind of selective enforcement.
Of course,
but
good old NYPD.
Yeah. Well, so we get into the questions first, then we go into some stories.
Well, Boo, if you want to, you had a story for us.
Well, no, we'll
before
get there.
I interrupted you.
No, it was like a segue, but I have it on my list, so I'll make sure that I tell it before it's over. We can do the story. You can do the questions.
We'll start off with some softball questions, like what brand of toilet paper do you use, and do you hang it on the roll over or under?
I don't really have any brand loyalty. I guess if I'm feeling bougie, I go ahead and get the 2-ply, the multiple ply soft stuff. And then desperate times call for maybe putting a roll of the toilet paper from a venue that I work in. I'll throw in my gig bag. That they like buy in bulk, like 1-ply. The thing that's nice about 1-ply is that it lasts longer.
Yes.
So my butthole doesn't really care. When I use fancy toilet paper, it's like, oh, fancy. But I don't mind. I don't mind regular old 1-ply. And I am a solid over. And I feel very strongly about it, so strongly to the point where I've been known to flip other people's in their homes.
That's me.
So you're admitting you're an asshole? Yeah, Ellen's like that. Which is so fucked up.
It is kind of fucked up. So I didn't realize it. I felt like people who do it under, I'm like, oh, they just are being haphazard. They didn't notice. Like, I can't imagine that anybody would do it anyway other than over. And I was trying to figure out why I felt so strongly about this. And I remembered an episode of The Simpsons from when I was a kid, when Marge got child services called on her. I don't remember why, but child services is walking around the house making notes about all the unsafe for children things in their home. And one of them is they look in the bathroom and they look in and they go, oh, toilet paper placed in a haphazardly underhanded fashion. And I was like, oh. So that I was like, okay, society says under toilet paper is bad and over is correct. And I've always done it that way.
Wow. We need to find that episode, Dave.
Yeah. I mean, it's a bullshit episode, but
I mean, for sure.
I'm in the under camp, but
yeah, thankfully for this podcast, you get one of each with both of us.
I mean, I am, but I will say, at this point, I don't even give a shit anymore. Like, I think the other day, I put a roll of toilet paper on. I just didn't notice I had it going over, and I was too lazy to flip it over. So I was like, I don't even care. But for the
also,
sake of this show,
when you can't find the end, like you're looking for the end. If you bat it like this, like a cat would bat it, you roll it forward. It'll eventually, if it's over, it'll roll out. But
and roll out over the floor. The under is great because it just sort of stays that way. And if you have cats, it's great for them not fucking with it as much.
Oh, well, that's true. I don't have a cat, so I didn't think about that.
I mean, Boo, you have roommates. Like,
Yes.
have you like sat down and told your roommates if you put it on under, you're like,
No,
are
I
they
will
all
just-
on board? Like,
No, not necessarily. I don't know what Juanita. I have two roommates, Juanita and Sean. Juanita I've lived with longer. We used to live downstairs in the 2-bedroom apartment of the same building, but we've recently moved up to the one with 3 bedrooms. And this apartment has 2 bathrooms.
amazing.
Oh, that's
So
nice.
Sean and Juanita have their own bathroom up on their floor. And then I have my own bathroom that is also it's also the main floor bathroom. So it's also the guest bathroom.
Right.
So now I don't have anybody with an opinion about the way the toilet paper goes. And I don't know if Juanita had one, but I can guarantee you that however she put it on, whether she did it on purpose or not, I switched it to over for sure.
So you're admitting you're a dictator.
Not
You're
on
like, fuck this
everything.
shit.
Not on everything.
That's okay.
Just everybody has their thing.
Yeah.
I also
Yeah,
move every time I open the dishwasher. I move the dishes around to the way I want them, to the way I think that they fit best in there.
Gotcha.
100%. I'm that person also. Yeah.
Doesn't hurt anybody.
No.
Keeps
When
the dishes safe.
when it's Gerald's day to do the dishes, I still load the dishwasher because we have a countertop dishwasher. And I still and I open up the dishwasher and I'm like, you are a barbarian. How do you think these dishes will get clean this way? And there's so much more space you can
You have to
utilize.
just let him do it his way. Like, why? I don't see. But then by that admission, you should just do the goddamn dishes then.
No.
Yes, because you're bitching about the way he's the placement in the dishwasher. Sorry. No, I'd be like, well, then this is your job now. I would seriously walk away and be like, this is your job. I am no longer doing this anymore.
And I literally sit there while he's washing dishes and put them in the
Oh my
dishwasher
God.
for him.
See, that's what I mean. It's like, then you're never going to then you should just do them at that point. I would totally be like, no, sorry. You are now in charge of this.
Oh, it's so funny. Also, Boo Bess, when you're done pooing and you
Yes.
go to wipe, do you sit or stand?
Yeah, I heard that this is a question.
Yeah.
I
people
mean,
stand.
I stay seated. I do a lean onto. I'm right-handed, so I'm wiping with my right hand. So I would say I lean onto the left cheek, and
That's popular.
kind of lift the right butt cheek to
Yeah.
But stand. I heard the thing about the hemorrhoids in the blood, and the doctors want you to stand up, but that doesn't work. How would that work? It just smooshes the poo around. Yeah, no, I sit. I sit
I mean, I think
like
if you
a
got a
normal
small
fucking
ass,
person.
if you got a small ass, I think that works. But that's about it.
You mean no ass? You literally don't
ass.
have ass cheeks. It's just a hole
flat-
coming out of the side
a
of your
flat
leg.
butt.
The inside, flat
It's like
butt.
an incision
maybe.
where the cheeks are, and then like a hole.
Exactly. Just legs and then a hole.
Yeah.
No butt at all.
Goes right into the back of your legs. Yeah, exactly. No
Like you
cheeks.
would have to like lean over or like have a second person in there to pull the cheeks apart so you can
Yeah.
like.
No.
I want a second person in there pulling my cheeks apart.
Never.
Or that's the next Japanese fancy toilet will have hands
Yeah.
that pull your cheeks
Just
apart.
spread
for
your
you.
ass apart. Yeah. Interesting.
And you told us your first memory of poops and farts with the enema, but do you have any other first memory?
I mean, that's a strong one for me personally as a kid. That being constipated. The two visceral memories of that were actually sitting on the toilet eating prunes, and like it's gonna work instantly or something. And then the enema. Oh God, that was terrible. No, I would just say my dad's strategy when we were kids to get us to smile for photos was to say farts are funny. So that's a very endearing term to me because it worked. That makes kids laugh for photos.
Farts are funny. Nice.
You talking about the dry fruit again? I don't know if I've ever mentioned this on the podcast, but I was at a friend's house, and when we were like hanging out, and we went into their cupboard to try to see what we could snack on, and there was like nothing snack friendly except for a humongous tub of dried apricots. So me and my one friend went to town on it because we were like eating like potato chips. The later that day, my farts were the most toxic, insane, painful. Those apricots, because I probably ate like 20 apricots, dried apricots. I had a friend staying with me, and he was like, I know this is your home, but you need to stop. It's so disgusting. Like, dried fruit is evil.
But isn't it good? Isn't it? Don't you think
delicious.
It's like moving? No, I don't mean the taste. Yes, dried apricots are delicious. I'm a big fan. But don't you think it's like that? Those toxic farts coming out of you. Don't you think it was like pushing stuff out of you that needed to come out anyway?
Yes. 100%.
It's really unfortunate for your friend.
Yeah.
who was at your house while that happened.
I called my other friend who had gone to town on these apricots with me. And I called him and I was like, all right, how are you doing? He goes, I literally think I just set my couch on fire. And I was like, yeah, I'm in the same. I'm glad to know I'm not the only one. But yeah, dried fruits. Woofda.
They work.
Yeah.
Fucking coffee. I'm not a coffee drinker, but the days that I am jonesing, I actually usually drink coffee after I've pooped and before I've eaten. I'd say on average that's where coffee fits into my day. So it doesn't always make me have to poo if the poo's already come out. But if I drink coffee before I've pooped, damn. It's just, it's like flipping a switch. 4.5, 5 sips in. I was thinking that meme that you definitely already shared of like the cartoon prairie dog. It's like, take one sip of coffee, the poop in my butt.
Yeah, exactly.
Whoop, time to go.
I think, thank God I don't drink coffee. That'd be the worst. I don't even.
Dave, I would be curious just to do an experiment with you, Dave, on that. I know you don't like it, but just to see, because you are
like time it.
Yeah.
Drink a cup of coffee and then see how long it takes.
I'm trying to remember. Like the last cup of coffee I drank was probably like 20 years ago.
Wow.
Like maybe, and it was like I hated it. It was just. I'm like, all right, when's this jolt supposed to kind of kick in? It never did.
Oh.
And I was like, all right, well.
Well, I'm just curious with you because Dave leans more on the looser side of the Bristol stool scale. So I'm like wondering, like, he already is like evacuating very easily. So I'm wondering if what it would do.
I mean, I'm sure it would just like rip through me. But yeah, I don't fuck with coffee.
It'd be like a colon cleanse.
Yeah.
Colon blow. Remember the SNL skit, Colon Blow?
No.
Colon Blow cereal. It's the best. Phil Hartman, R.I.P. It was like one of my favorite skits ever.
I have to look that one up.
I'll have to find it. It's really good.
Talking about diarrhea, what are your best cures, Boo Bess, for diarrhea or constipation?
So, like I said, haven't been constipated since that time I was a kid. So, if I'd say nowadays when I'm constipated, I just wait it out. If it's like, even if it's just like a little bit, like taking longer, hard poo, I'll just wait it out. Or I'll go for the dried fruit. I've got apricots in my cabinet. Diarrhea happens to me occasionally. I would say I also swing towards the higher end of the Bristol scale. And Imodium.
Yeah, that seems to be the go-to for a lot of people.
Yeah, someone explained to me when I was little that it's diarrhea is often like a muscle spasm.
Oh,
in your guts.
That makes sense.
That what Imodium does is it relaxes those muscles that are like freaking out.
I do know heroin addicts like taking Imodium. There's something like similar that Imodium has in it that heroin has in it, which I think is crazy.
Interesting.
Yeah.
It's a very effective little pill. I mean, it ends the urge to, like, it fixes diarrhea for sure. It's the only thing that I've ever taken that, like
shuts it down for sure.
Yeah,
It
really.
stops it in its
Takes care of
track.
it.
Yeah.
I would be in an Imodium commercial and not have to lie. I believe in that product.
I do think Imodium works very well, but I'm one of those people who leans more towards constipation. So if I ever took Imodium, I won't shit for like 4 days after.
Yeah, that would suck.
Binds me up. So I stay away from it.
I used to have to like, I don't even think I have any right now. I think if I suddenly had diarrhea right now, I would sort of have to like desperately find Imodium to fix it, but I haven't had to use it. But there was a time when I had multiple stashes.
I keep Pepto on me at all time. Pepto and I work very well together.
Pepto, I feel like does nothing for me.
Oh.
Like
Pepto is so
maybe if I had an
disgusting.
upset tummy, like indigestion.
What about you, Dave? I forget.
I like charcoal. I don't like them. I mean, I'll use Imodium. We went to Mexico. I used Imodium like once, and it worked pretty good. But yeah, I don't. Pepto is disgusting. I'll use that as a last chance resort.
Yeah, like it's like you're at someone's grandmother's house.
Yeah,
And
just
that's all
have it.
they
I'm like, okay, whatever.
I kind of love the way it tastes.
Oh, it's disgusting. It's so fucking disgusting.
I don't
And
mind the
then-
way it tastes. That chalky minty thing.
Oh,
yeah.
it tastes like
love
old.
that.
It tastes like an old Just like someone's like old, like just old. It's like some withered old like just thing. It's just like it's disgusting.
So
But-
there's something sort of charming and adorable about the color of it. That pink.
Because
Totally.
they're like,
That
oh, this
Pepto-Pink.
they're like, this looks fun, and it tastes like
It
shit.
does look fun. It looks like bubble gum, but it's not bubble
it's
gum.
not. It's disgusting. It's bubblegum shit. That's what it is.
Yeah.
The only thing that I think of association with old people is mothballs.
Metamucil.
Oh, that too.
That's
big
for
Metamucil.
that's
Prunes,
for- that
fucking.
loosens you up, right? That's if
Yes.
you're constipated. Yes.
Metamucil is basically psyllium husk.
Yeah, I think like prunes, those Werther's candies. When I think of old people, those mints, those like swirly peppermint candies.
Oh, when you're talking about old people in bathrooms, I think about padded toilet seats when I think about old people.
Yeah. That don't breathe at all.
Yeah. My grandma used to have one of those, and you'd sit down on it, and it would
And we
like,
go, yeah.
and then when you go to get up, especially in the summer, you'd get stuck a little.
Yeah,
Oy.
it's like a layer of skin.
Oy.
Oh,
Yeah.
God. And like, that can't be sanitary, having foam
I mean, I don't know.
on
Probably
your
not.
toilet seat.
No, none of it.
I mean, none of it's sanitary, but yeah, that's probably yeah, disgusting. I mean, I don't know. Yeah, it's gross. Especially you close the lid and like all those particles are just hitting the top of that lid. I mean,
Even if you close the lid to flush, the poo is
Yeah, it's
still flying
everywhere.
around in there.
Yeah.
it's so gross.
Ugh.
Yeah. Oof.
And what products do you love to help you with your pooping? From anything from sprays, matches. It sounds like you don't have a bidet or a squatty potty, but if there's anything
don't.
else.
I think Poopery is an amazing invention. And so I don't own Poopery because I guess I'm not conscientious about poo smells in my own house. If my poo were really smelly and they were like guests here, I'm a old-fashioned light a match kind of girl.
Yeah.
So I keep matches in my bathroom because that really does the trick. And I kind of
does.
like that sulfuric smell of a can. Like it feels celebratory. It like reminds me of birthday candles or something.
I use a Palo Santo. I just started using
Palo
it.
Santo.
I just started using that in the bathroom. I'm like, this is fuck. I just found
my
out about that
question
shit.
about that is Palo Santo takes a minute to get burning, and then you have to put it out. So you sit there and
Well, it
you
just
light
burns
it.
out. I mean, I have an ashtray in the bathroom. I just light it up when I sit down. It starts to spark.
Oh, you let it go while you're pooping.
Oh, yeah, and then I just
that's nice.
Yeah, I don't do it like after. I just do it like while I'm doing it. That way, there's no smell at all.
It turns the pooping into almost like a meditative experience.
I just started doing it like we got back from Mexico. Like I was like, oh, what's Palo Santo? And Daddy was like, oh, it's this whatever stuff. And I was like, I bought some, and that's what I've been using ever since.
Well, it also keeps
That's
the bad
amazing.
spirits out of your house.
I guess it keeps the shit spirits out. I don't know. I don't know about spirits, but it makes it smell okay.
No ghosts in your bathroom.
Oh yeah, I guess. So.
Yeah, Poopery, if you're like, so I went on tour, burlesque tour once, called Twirly Whirly Burly Q, and it was with Ula Uberbusen and Rosie Cheeks. And Rosie was the hero because she brought Poopery with her. Actually, there's a flavor of Poopery called Rosie Cheeks,
Oh.
which is the one that she uses.
That's pretty funny.
And I was sold on that product. Damn, it works.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like it works.
Creates like a film.
This may sound
because you
gender
spray-
biased, but I feel like it works. That shit works better for women than it does for men. Because my wife got the just a drop, And she's like, yeah, just gotta put a little tiny drop in there. And I did that. I'm like, this did absolutely it did nothing. It was like my shit was like laughing at these drops. And then Ellen gave us a bunch of like poopery. I think Tiny bought a bunch of poopery home once, and then Ellen gifted me some, and that seemed to work. But you have to spray it so many times, I feel like.
Really?
Yeah. Oh my God.
I just feel like one spritz in the toilet.
I don't know what kind of magical shit you're taking, but mine need way more. Way fucking more than that. Like one spritz.
One spritz, and then like when the poop falls in, it like wraps it up like a Christmas present.
Dude, that is insane. I don't know how. Like your shits must not smell, because my
shit smells.
I just hit one. If I did one spray, it'd be like nothing happened. It'd be like this faint odor of like fruit and just shit.
Maybe it's because Dave, your shit's a little looser. So maybe it like combines with the film versus if you have harder toys.
But my shit's loose too.
I've literally tried. I just the one thing that kind of works a little better is the undercover poo.
Oh,
that we've had in the show before.
What's that do?
It's like a little tablet
Same
droplet.
Thing. Okay.
Yeah, so tablet. But it's like so you can travel with it, which is great. And it doesn't like really, it's not like super fruity, but it's like sort of helps with like masking the smell a little bit, and it actually cleans your toilet bowl because it's got this like
effervescent something.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. It's great.
It's very much like
soda.
It's like a bath bomb for your toilet bowl.
That's awesome.
But that one's pretty good.
The baking soda also sucks in all the smells.
Yeah. But I think overall matches work the best, and the Palo Santo I think work the best because it's been working for me anyway. It's like the only thing that's ever worked.
So my roommate hates burning sage and Palo Santo. So I guess if you live with somebody that's sensitive to perfumes and stuff, that wouldn't work. But matches just do and it's like universally beloved.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's very satisfying to strike a match.
Yes.
Yeah,
feels powerful.
I feel like all those sprays, they work to some degree, but it's like it never beats ass. It never beats ass. I don't care what it says.
It's hard to beat ass.
Yeah, it is. There's an old Dave Attell. He's like, lemons are like, his ass is like 100 yards ahead of lemon. Lemon's trying to catch up with like fucking, it just smells like lemons and then shitty fucking ass smell. So that would be my 2 cents.
I have to pee really bad.
Okay.
Can you guys hold on?
Yeah. So, Ellen, did you take a shit while you're in there?
I didn't. No, pee-pee.
Oh.
I was
you guys betting?
Yeah, I was like, Ellen's going to come back today. I squeezed it a turd.
It does happen sometimes.
Yeah, it does. I was just saying that.
Yeah.
Sometimes it surprises me. I'll go to pee and then my body's like, oh, also this. I'm like, oh, I didn't know you were in there. Okay, come on out, buddy.
Yeah. Michelle Wolf has that brilliant joke. She was like, I feel bad for you guys because you stand up to pee. Like, you don't get the pleasure us women get with a mid-afternoon surprise poop.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like...
Oh, my God. Yeah, I've never had that problem before.
That's
like
not a problem.
Have you ever been standing in a urinal peeing and as the pee's coming out, you realize there's poo also?
I mean, I'm sure it's happened like... But it's probably I could probably count it on one hand, like the times that it's happened in my life.
I talked about it before. Gerald sits down to pee at our house, and he says it happens to him so many times. He'll be sitting down to pee, and poop is there.
Definitely the sitting, I guess, because like the standing.
It's got to be the sitting.
The standing doesn't really. I've never like it's so rare where I've actually had to like pee. I mean,
yeah, but as ladies, we have to sit.
I understand that. But I'm saying, like, I don't, so...
I don't know if anybody's ever
yes, I understand you have to,
before.
Yeah, you're like, I understand women have to sit to pee. I'm not like...
sit to pee.
I literally just said it must be the sitting. Like,
well, there's been times on this
I wasn't like, wait, women just sit to pee? Like, you don't stand like guys do? Like, what? Has never been said.
I'm considering getting on the stand to pee bandwagon and buying one of those things.
A Go Girl or a Shiwi?
Not the Shiwis. Shiwis are kind of big. I think Go Girls are the ones that are small and collapsible and have like a little bag you can put them in.
I have both. There's a video of me last year at camp peeing off a raft with my Go Girl.
I really want one.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Is it like, is there a lot of splashback?
No.
Oh, okay.
No, it's like a funnel.
It's a funnel you put right over it, and then you saw the video, Dave.
No, I saw the
it's
video.
Like a long tube.
No, I'm asking, like, if, like, the first couple of times you use it, is it like, oh shit, like I gotta get used to, like, where this is going, or is it kind of like, is there a learning curve?
The very first
like,
time
bam.
I did do it was at camp years ago when it was like camp in Maryland, and there was actually a urinal in our cabin, and I was like, fuck it, I'm going to try this urinal shit out. I got to go, girl. And I realized when I was sober, I could do it really well. When I was drunk, because I did it at least 5 times in the 4 days we were there, I peed down my leg so many times.
Yeah, see, that's what I mean.
So there's a learning curve is the answer
Yes.
to the question.
Well, a drinking one. Yeah, that's what I'm asking. I get that it's easy. I'm just saying that,
Well, it's easy when you're
everything has
sober.
a learning curve,
Yes.
right?
I mean, look, I've been drunk a lot of times, and I've never had peed on my leg.
Oh, I've been wasted, pissed on myself with or without the Go Girl.
Dave, you've never gotten drunk and dribbled pee on yourself?
I mean, dribbled and pissing down your leg are 2 entirely different things. A dribble's like, oh fuck, I got a little extra on there.
true.
I mean, like pissing down my leg. No, I've never pissed myself like being drunk before. Like I've definitely like dribbled, more than expected. You're like, oh shit.
Yeah.
But like
on your shoe,
where
you're
I'm
like,
pissing,
oh,
no,
man.
where it's like going down my leg like a stream. No. That's not happened yet. I mean, knock on wood. Who knows? Maybe it'll start happening. I'll report back.
I have
only
been
one
drunk
time-
peeing my pants so many times.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever pissed myself drunk. I've laughed too hard and a little pee came out, but that's not the same thing. I've only fully pissed my pants once. I was in elementary school, but not a kid, like 5th or 6th grade. So what are you, 11, walking home by myself and just not being able to hold it anymore. And instead of, walking through the suburbs. So I guess instead of pulling my pants down and trying to pee behind a bush, I just stood there and just pissed into my jeans.
Oh, that's
Jeans. So
Yeah.
soaked them and it got them really heavy. And then I had to trudge the rest of the way home in piss-soaked jeans.
Oh,
oof, that's gross.
Yeah.
That's awful. Well, since we're talking about some stories, do you want to get into some of your stories?
yeah, because this is I'm at the question, floor versus pants, which always
Oh, yeah, this is the question. Okay.
opens up the floodgates.
So this is the story, Ellen, that I've been telling you I had for you. And so I said that, so I lived in the apartment downstairs, which was a 2-bedroom apartment. I was in there for 5 years. And just a couple of years ago, Juanita moved in with me. And she was my new roommate. And we'd known each other for a long time, but we were new to being roommates. And so still sort of figuring each other out and testing politeness, boundaries, and all that kind of stuff. So she'd been with me, I guess, a couple months. And I woke up in the morning and, my regular morning poo sort of started percolating in there. And, when you only have one toilet, you're playing that game with the clock. How long am I going to lay in bed? Am I going to try to get to the bathroom first? Or is she going to get to the bathroom first? So anyway, I didn't get to the bathroom first. Juanita, and it wasn't urgent when I first woke up, but I was laying around. And then I heard Juanita get up and go in the bathroom, and she was taking a shower. She doesn't always take a shower first thing in the morning, but she took a shower this day, and she was taking a leisurely shower, which everybody has a right to do. But as she was in the shower, things went from just a interesting percolation to an urgent situation. And so I got up out of bed and I'm well, I can wait this out. So you start pacing. So I'm walking back and forth the length of my apartment from my bedroom to the living room and back. And the urgency of the pacing is getting worse. You're doing that thing where you're I was clenching my butt cheeks, holding my butthole closed as hard as I could.
Dave, this is a perfect place for cheeks. Cheeks don't fail me.
I know if I had that. I was trying to find, it's here we go. This is
The clock is ticking.
Yes. and then I start doing math. And then it's oh fuck. my butt cheeks are not strong enough. Like, I cannot keep holding this poo in. And I could tell it wasn't a regular poo. It was like, there was force behind it. There was urgency behind it.
Woo!
We were on the ground floor apartment. So the front door of my apartment goes straight out onto the sidewalk. So I'm like doing the math. I'm like, what am I gonna do? Am I going to poo in the kitchen sink? No, you can't fucking do that. That's insane.
No.
Am I going to go out? So, like, right out our front door is, like, under the steps. You go up the steps to go into the apartment above us. So it's, like, a little bit of, like, protection. I was like, am I going to go straight and, like, shit by the trash cans, like, right outside my door? And then, the very first thing I thought was knock on the door and tell Juanita I had to poo. But I couldn't do it. Like, for some reason, I immediately skipped past that option. I was like, that's disgusting.
You're like, I don't know you like that.
Right. I wasn't ready. And we didn't know each other that well. And I didn't know if that was going to be like, but like in retrospect, of course, that's what I should have done. But it is not what I did. Also, like, would I be able to wait for her to like get out of the shower, or am I just going to have to burst in and like start shitting while she's still there in the bathroom? Because if I had waited till I was that desperate to ask her, I'm not sure I could have waited for her to get out of the shower. I might have just like barged in and be like, I'm shitting now. Terrible.
You're about to shit yourself.
I was about to shit myself. So I did, the only thing I could do, I have a dog. I've picked up poop many times. We had a bag full of bags. So I went in the kitchen and grabbed one of the empty grocery bags and pulled my pants down and shat in a bag in the middle of the kitchen. And it was not a healthy poo.
Oh.
It was 6'7", maybe not 7. It wasn't watery, but it was like loose. Oof. And like but it was like all this poo came out of me. Yeah. Thankfully, I had pretty good aim. It all went in the bag.
God bless.
Oh my God.
And did you like inspect the bag beforehand? Because sometimes when you have
to make sure there's no holes.
Yeah, holes in the bottom. Yes.
I bet I did quickly inspect the bag to make sure there were no holes in it.
You're like frantically putting your hand in the bag, like making sure your fingers aren't going through.
Or just like
oh my God, yeah.
Shake it out and look really quickly and make sure that there's not a big hole.
Can you imagine if there was? You would have been...
And then I would have been like cleaning the poo, and there wasn't a hole. So I wiped with a paper towel, I'm sure, and then just like immediately tied the bag up and opened my front door, which opens right to where the outside trash goes, and tossed it into the trash can. And I never told Juanita.
Oh, that's so great.
Until like 2 years later, maybe a year and a half, 2 years later, I finally confessed this story to her, and she died laughing. I mean, she fucking lost it, and because she was like, why didn't you just knock on the door and tell me you had to poo? And I was like, I don't know, we weren't really that close yet.
Could you imagine though, it would even be funnier if she came out of her shower and passed the kitchen while you were doing that.
I was shitting.
She's like, what the fuck?
I had to do everything really fast.
She's like, I gotta move out.
I have to get this over with before she finishes. Like earlier, I was like, hurry up and finish your shower. And I'm like, take your time.
She's like, I gotta move out. This girl's shit in the fucking kitchen.
Yeah, and that was like not that long ago. That was a couple years ago. That was, that's the most like frantic and desperate I've had to poo, and like had to do that math so quickly.
Yeah.
We've all been there.
Like yeah.
Frantic and desperate.
So I guess the answer to the question is floor.
Via a bag.
I didn't just stand there and shit my pants, which would have been dumb to do at home.
That would have been insane to do at home. Like,
yeah. And I imagine if I were out in the world and I had to shit that bad, I would. I mean, it depends. Are you like, can you run out to the curb and like shit between cars?
Yeah,
in New York, probably that would be the quickest.
Yes.
Least amount of people will catch you doing it.
Oh
maybe.
My God. What's this nowadays too with like cell phone technology and everything? People just record everything. When you think you're not being recorded, it's like that's my fear.
Yeah.
Like outside, I'm like, oh, this is. I'm gonna wind up with some website.
I mean, but how many videos are there of people?
A lot.
I'm
The
sure
worst
there's a
is
lot.
when people go in between subway cars to take a shit while the train is moving.
Yeah. I've seen people do that.
Same.
I had a friend who she had to pee. I had a friend she had to pee when we were on the subway, and she's like, "I really have to pee so bad, I can't hold it in anymore." And she started going. I'm like, "Do you want me to help you? Like, I'll hold." Because like I just got nervous. Like it's because people like
it's
die.
dangerous.
Like,
There's a reason they tell you not to do that.
I just had the door open, and then we closed the door. She squatted, and like in between the tunnel, we just like she's holding on to my leg, like holding my leg, and I'll hold on to this that way. Like I think I was holding on to her back because I'm like, do not fall. And then she was just finishing right when the train was like coming into the station.
So she's like pulling up.
Yeah, no, it was like she was still peeing when it was coming into the station. It was starting to slow down. I'm like, you got to wrap this thing up because people can't see between the fucking cars.
But then at the same time, it's like, hello, we're 2020. We live technically in a first world country and in a city that has a lot of fucking money. Why aren't there more public bathrooms? Why aren't there
so
bathrooms
few public bathrooms in New York? It's kind of wild, actually.
Yeah.
And how many tourists New York usually has? What do they do? That's why Starbucks bathrooms are disgusting, because everybody uses them like public restrooms.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is the other story I was going to tell. We were talking about other people's poo. OPP, I believe. Was that means?
Yeah. Other people's poos.
Talking about that area outside my door under the stairs some years ago in the summer, in the hot part of the summer, so July or August. And I have to assume it was a homeless person, because who else does this? But I guess it could have been like a drunk or high person that just didn't give a fuck. But it was not. I came out of my door one morning, and it was. I think it was when I had a job like that was office hours, and I was leaving like to go to be at work by 9 or 10 or something. And I walked out of the front door and found right outside my front door a very unhealthy pile of number 7.
Ooh.
Oh.
Ooh.
Oof, that is
a pile. So it was like a pool.
Oh.
And it was still wet, so it can't have been there that long. Right outside my door. On the concrete. And there's a little concrete wall there, and a little bit of it was smeared down the wall, so the person had clearly leaned, just rested up against the concrete wall and let it like come out of them.
the person's like, yeah.
And I had to go to work, so there's nothing I could do about it right then. So I went to work, and then I came back after work, and it was still there.
Dried.
But it had now like crusted over slightly, and there were like flies on it. And in this situation, nobody else is going to take care of that for me. My landlord is very hands off. I maybe could have called him and insisted that he send someone to clean it up, but it didn't seem appropriate. So, the grossest thing I've ever done in my life. And there's a water hose hookup out there, but it's not turned on. So I didn't have a hose or anything.
God.
So I put on rubber cleaning gloves, and I took a bucket, and I filled it with hot water and soap and bleach or something. And I just had to keep filling the bucket and pouring it over the pile of poo until it all washed down the drain. And then I took like a scrub brush and like scrubbed it out. And then I threw all of those things away. The scrub brush, the gloves, and the bucket all got thrown, tossed.
As it should.
Yeah. As it should. Actually, I didn't have the bucket because the bucket didn't touch any poo.
Yeah, that would not, that's disgusting.
It was definitely one of the most horrendous New York things I've had to take care of by myself.
That's like MVP that you did it yourself. Like
I really did.
I would have called my landlord. I would have called other people in the building to make sure they knew that this is their problem too.
Oh my God, I can't imagine. I'd be like, what is this girl? What is she talking about?
I'd probably call 311 to be like,
report it.
Yeah.
You know what's funny is that a year later, I saw in another part of the neighborhood on my block a similar pile of poo. And I'm like, oh, And maybe this is like a serial pooper.
Yeah.
They're out there. We've done stories on that. People like shitting all over the place. Like I've seen the amount of times I've seen shit on the sidewalk, and now it doesn't even affect me anymore. I'm like, oh, someone's shit. That's definitely not a fucking dog. That's
Yes, you can tell.
You're like, that is a
there are
person
big
that's-
dogs that have big human-sized poo, but this
Yeah.
didn't come out of a dog. A person picked this spot because
Yeah.
it was private.
Well, I mean, again, you have that little down. I know that downstairs area you're talking about. That's a perfect place to secretly take a shit in the middle of the night. You'd be like, oh, this is
also,
great.
the light bulb in that light out there was out,
Oh,
so it was dark.
Of course,
It was a dark nook.
God bless you saw it and didn't step in it.
Oh,
my god! Oh my god!
I would have lost my shit. No pun
Oh my
intended.
god!
I would have shit in my pants if I stepped in shit. I'm like, oh my god, that's disgusting. But, but you know,
Although I did step in shit once, human shit.
Oh,
wow.
stepping in dog poop
Please.
is bad enough, but stepping in human shit.
Please tell me you had a
there's,
shoe. Did you have shoes on, or was it barefoot, kind of running through the woods type of thing?
I had shoes on. I
Oh.
distinctly remember the shoes I was wearing. So I was a kid. I was with my childhood best friend Meredith. We were playing in the woods in a park near our house, and we both had to poo, or maybe just she had to poo. Just she had to poo. So she pooped right there where we were playing, and I guess we were going to leave soon. And then I remember afterward, because we were laughing, oh my God, this is so funny. You're pooping in the woods.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was like, where is it? Where's the poo?
Like, oh, my
Where
shoe.
did it go? And I had full foot stepped in her log, which was just stuck to the bottom of my Doc Martin-esque. I don't
Mock
think it was an
Martens?
actual.
Did you have Mock Martens?
Mock Martin is something like that. It was like 93, like whatever, or something. And
Ugh.
I scraped as much of it off on the tree as I could, and then I just had to walk home because it's got those treads on the bottom, and the poo was fully smushed into all the
Oh
treads.
yeah, it's all like in those little nooks and crannies.
Oh, all the nooks and
Yeah.
crannies were just packed full of her poo.
Oh,
And then walked home and had to spray it with the hose.
Oh,
I would have thrown those fucking things out and be like, sorry. Like,
I mean, I don't think I did, but I really should have. I really should have.
oh, that's so sad.
yeah. I don't mean like you're a dog owner, Boo. I'm a
Yes.
dog owner. Stepping in dog poop, even if it's a stranger's dog poop in New York, is pretty bad as it
It
is.
sucks to step in poo.
Oh,
it
it
doesn't
does.
matter what kind of poo it is.
No, but like dog poo, I feel like I'm a little bit more like, okay, whatever. This is dog poo. I'm mad at the human for not picking it up. But human poo, I just think is much more vile.
That's what I mean about being desensitized to poo. You only feel that way because you're desensitized to dog poo.
Yeah.
You picked up poop, hot, steaming poop from a pit
so
bull
glad I have a
with
dog.
your hand. I know there's plastic in between the poo and your hand, but you're still picking it up in your hand.
Oh, no, it took me a good year before I could like every time I did it, I'd be like,
Same. So my ex-husband had a pit bull, and whenever I had to walk Petey, one time it was so big, and I don't know, maybe he'd eaten something, but there was something. Every time I had to pick up Petey's poo, maybe 75% of the time I would gag like that. And this one time, I don't know, I had a weak stomach. I don't know, I was having a sensitive day, and I fully puked.
Did you puke on the shit?
The shit was in my hand.
Oh,
and
my
I
God.
puked onto the ground.
This is some fucked up repugnant shit.
I'm so
where
glad.
you are not desensitized.
No,
I'm
not
so-
desensitized.
I'm so glad I don't have a dog. Like, one of the gross things I've seen in New York, I mean, besides like human shit, but it's like when I see those dried up smear marks from people trying to pick up the dog
where
shit.
it was wet and
Like,
they
you can see
tried
the
to
bag,
get it.
and I'm like, I'm so glad I have a cat. Like, it's just so much easier. Like,
I watched someone in Lincoln Center, not Lincoln Center, but like right across the street. They had a big dog, big fluffy thing, and it started pooping over the subway grate.
oh no.
So the poop was falling on the subway grate, and it was like half of it was sort of falling through, and then they're trying to get it. And it was like,
Oh.
yeah.
That's when you just push it down into the grate.
Just push
just
it
say
through.
sorry. Just say sorry.
Sorry,
those
guys.
grates are how you get air back and forth to the subway. So somebody down in the subway is like What is that
there's
smell?
poop in there.
Dude, do you know how many people pee in those? I mean, it's just like, yeah. It's like,
I know. It's so gross.
It's like, yeah, that shit happens all the time.
Like, we need to interview somebody who works for the subway because I would love to talk to them about like how much
poop they find in the subway. I know that there have been piles of poop just in the cars.
Yeah. But then who does the cleaning of it? Like,
well, they have those cleaning trucks.
They what?
They have those overnight cleaning trucks. But like when it happens, I'm sure it's probably like, yeah, whoever's on the fucking, who's ever dealing with the subway. Because like, the subway car probably doesn't get clean until it gets to the end of the line. So if someone shits in that car, it's not getting clean until they get to the end of that line at the very least.
That was the issue with the beginning of COVID when overnight the trains were practically abandoned except for homeless people, and the homeless people were just shitting and pissing and doing whatever the fuck they wanted.
They're like, party.
Yeah.
No, but then in the very beginning of COVID, I remember seeing on Trevor Noah and Daily Show, he was like, yeah, so they're talking about how they're trying to clean the cars out every 3 days. And it's like, what? Like, no, it should be every day. And what were you guys doing before that? Was you just cleaning out once every other week? Like,
I mean, when I used to live off the G train line, at the Court Square, they used to like, the guy would go with a mop. Like every once in a while.
I feel like they go through every time they get to the end of the line. Don't they have to aren't they supposed to like walk through the whole train and check it and make sure there's nothing weird?
At Coney, sometimes I've seen that a lot. They clean it. But I mean, that's probably like, whoever just happens to be doing it. I mean, that it could be just be like.
But is it the conductor?
No, I don't think it's a conductor.
No, there's a crew. There's a part of the MTA that are just for cleaning.
Yeah.
I need to meet those people because I just want to talk to them about
They're in every station.
Yeah. My favorite thing,
can find them.
My favorite thing, my friend of mine was like, we're talking about the subway, whatever, and he was like, yeah, I never sit in the benches. And I'm like, why not? He's like, well, I used to. And then one day I was coming down the subway going to work, and it was like early morning, and he was going in early, and he saw this guy standing up just pissing all over the bench, like not just like like purposely, like just like whizzing all over the whole, like on sometimes those
like,
benches are like
aiming it
like how like the benches are back to back sometimes, like like they're like, he's all over the bench, and he's like, well, I'm never sitting, like, it is so funny because I'm like, I got to work that day and I just sat down on the bench. I'm like, oh great, because like you just think, oh, it's nice and comfy and get a nice little seat in this bench, and someone just pissed on that the night before or shit on it or whatever. But it's, New York, living in the city is fucking gross, man.
Disgusting.
So it's a lot of people. I mean, we're like an anthill of humans just
well, it's like,
pissing all over each other.
There's like this huge homeless problem that no one wants to fucking address. And then, so it's like, okay, they're homeless, but what the fuck? We're not helping these people out in any sort of way. So it's like, they're going to take a shit outside because that's where they live. And it's
where
like,
else are they going to
shit? People are shocked when they're like, oh my God, this person's so disgusting. I'm like, where are they supposed to go to the fucking bathroom? They have nowhere to go take a shower. To deal with like going to the bathroom. So it's just like, as much as I find it disgusting too, it's like, well, what other options do you have? No one's making any solutions. There's no public bathrooms. They get shunned from going into like Starbucks or some stupid coffee shop. So it's, it's not shocking, but it is disgusting as fuck. I mean, no one wants to see human shit.
If I were homeless in New York, I would maybe try to shoot for a park if I had time to decide where I was going to poo. Like you could maybe find like a big bush to hide inside.
Yeah, if you're near a park, what if you're like downtown somewhere? Like, oh, shit, I gotta take a shit. It's like, you're not gonna hop on the fucking. You're like, well, I guess I'm shitting in this.
Gotta go my poop bush in Prospect Park.
Oh, what's this? I'm gonna take a shit underneath this staircase in this person's from this person's apartment.
Exactly.
That's what that is. I'm lucky that we're on the second floor. We don't see that kind of stuff, but it's so gross.
Ugh,
it was really, really, I mean, I'll remember it forever.
Yeah, I mean, you never forget those traumatic shit stories.
Hashtag never forget.
Yeah.
The last most embarrassing poo thing that happened to me was, this was not long ago, a few months ago. My dog, I have an old dog. I have an elderly dog. She's 14. Accidents happen. So I don't remember if she pooped inside or peed inside, but whatever it was, I cleaned it up with paper towels and like a fucking idiot put it in the toilet. The paper towels, the wad of paper, like a wad of paper towels. And did I flush it or did I just leave it hanging there? Don't remember. But if I flushed it, it probably clearly didn't go down all the way. And then without handling that situation before excuse me, I'm flustered. I'm embarrassed by this story because everything that happened was my fault. Instead of handling that situation properly, I pooped then on top of that.
Oh, I know where this is going.
The perfect storm.
And fully and completely, utterly clogged my toilet. So plunger, like I flushed it. It was like nothing, it's going down. It's not refilling. Everything's clogged. It's like clogged full of paper towels and dog poop and human poop. And the plunger wasn't working. And I did every single at-home trick for trying to unclog your toilet. I did the volcano thing with the baking soda and vinegar. Yeah, you put baking soda and vinegar like you were doing like a volcano experiment.
Yeah.
It's supposed to like effervesce up in and like break everything up. Didn't work. Boiling water didn't work. Took apart a wire hanger. Tried shoving it in there. Didn't work. To the point where I've kept trying to flush it and it wasn't flushing, so it's filling and filling and filling, and so it didn't overflow. This poop water didn't overflow. I had to get a bucket, and put on gloves, and then take a smaller cup and cupful by cupful, empty the poop toilet water into the bucket, take the bucket outside, pour it down into the sewer. I had to keep doing this again and again and again. I kept trying to flush the thing.
No.
And it's the only time in my life I didn't ask my landlord to fix it, because this is not the plumbing didn't work. This is my fault. It's the first time in my life I've had to hire a plumber to come to my house to unclog my toilet.
Oh, because you even after everything
Couldn't
you
do
did.
it. I did 2 days.
Oh, 2 days.
Of trying to unclog this thing.
Shit.
Thankfully, there's 2 bathrooms in my house.
That was my next question.
Yeah.
If it was the old apartment with the only one shitter.
No, this is the recent. This was just a few months ago. This is pre-COVID, but we only moved into this apartment last September.
This is
my
a cautionary tale, people.
This is a cautionary tale. Never, ever try to flush paper towels.
No.
Yeah.
I'm such an idiot.
That's why baby wipes are bad to flush, too, because they're
I
just
won't
a
flush
wet
anything
paper towel.
anymore.
Except for poo and pee.
Poo and pee and pee. I mean, like toilet paper.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my God. That's
What did
It
the
was
plumber
really
say?
embarrassing. I mean, he's a plumber.
He didn't say anything?
Out of a courtesy to the plumber, I did my scoop poop technique and emptied all the water. And I flushed it through so many times. At this point, most of the poo was gone from me having scooped it myself out of my own toilet.
oh my God. It's so
it didn't look
foul.
that bad when he came.
So we know for a fact that bucket got thrown away.
That bucket probably. We have a lot of buckets now. I think I threw that bucket away. Yeah.
Holy Jesus.
Is that what he said when he walked in?
Yeah. He's a plumber. I'm sure plumbers have seen worse.
Yeah, I know. But still, I'm sure, if I was a plumber, I'd be like, it never gets old. Just damn. Woo.
Yeah, that
That's
was
pretty
embarrassing. Because that was just stupidity on my part.
Some people,
We've all been there.
Yeah, we've all done dumb things,
Yeah.
At least I had a friend in college. They moved down here to Brooklyn, and they were living. Some friends they were living together, and this one girl definitely had some issues. I don't know what the fuck her problem was, but she was running late for work, took a shit. Her roommate had already left, took a shit, and then the toilet got clogged, and she didn't even bother trying to fix it. So she just left. So unbeknownst to my other friend who was already gone, comes back hours later after 6 o'clock, whatever time you get home from work, and opens the bathroom door. It's what the fuck is that smell? And it's dry shit water and everything all over the bathroom floor. She's like, what the fuck? And her roommate, she calls
Wait, did it overflow?
Yes. Yeah. And so this girl we knew who was seriously, something's wrong with her. She was just I don't know, I was running late for work and it happened, and it was just I didn't know what to do, but I was late. I couldn't be late for work, so I just left it. Yeah. Just left it for hours. From probably 8:30 till 6 o'clock.
Oh.
Yeah. Could you
God.
imagine? And again, this is pre iPhone, smartphone stuff. So I don't think she had a cell phone, so her roommate had to just clean everything up. She's I didn't, she wasn't home from her roommate wasn't home from work yet, so she's what the fuck? So she had to clean it up because the smell was so bad.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
This story is reminding me of a reoccurring nightmare I have. Have you ever walked into a public restroom and open a stall and what you see in there is just so horrifying? You're just what is wrong with people? Like, how is it possible that
daily
a toilet can look this disgusting? And there's just like poop and like it's thin and like blood and like, okay. I have this reoccurring nightmare that I'm in some bathroom, and for some reason in my mind it's like a school, some kind of school, or like a locker room kind of situation, but it's labyrinthian. So it's like there's stalls going this way, and then this stall opens into another row of stalls, and it's like there's like, but everywhere there's poo on the ground, and every single toilet is like overflowing with poo. Like, Jesus. And you have no choice but to just like piss or shit on the ground where everybody else pissed or shit.
This
is a reoccurring nightmare?
Yes.
Jesus.
It just popped into my head.
This sounds like the Matthew Barney film River of Fundament, which I was an extra in, by the way.
Oh.
And there was all types of stuff like about like shitting in it, and it was just a lot of shit. So that sounds it kind of reminds me of that a little bit. Woo.
What was your role in that?
I played a mourner for Norman Mailer.
Not Pooper number 7?
No. I was in it way more than I thought. Cause like, you think like extra. My neighbor wrote the dialogue for the film. So he was like, yeah, you like Matthew Barney. Do you want to be in this? You want to be an extra? I'm like, yeah, I'll be a bucket list thing. And I just, 2 days, I just on set. Like, I was one of the mourners at, they did an exact replica of Norman Mailer's apartment in the studio, in Matthew Barney's studio. So we were like, just sitting there like, and I was in like a bunch of scenes in the beginning. It was like crazy, but it was funny. I was like, yeah, one guy's like, oh, this is your first, like, how long have you been acting? I'm like, I'm not an actor. This is more just like a friend of mine. And then they're like, hey, we're doing some shoots next week. Do you want to come up? Like, I'm like, no. She's like, why not? I'm like, yeah, I can't. I got stuff to do. I can't be sitting around waiting to like be called upon. Like, I just didn't realize how boring it is. Like when you're not like actually on set.
Oh yeah, extra work is
holy shit! I was
95% of your time just sitting and holding, waiting.
I was so like the first day I didn't bring a book or anything. I think I did bring a book, and I've never done. I read an entire book in 2 days. Like I've never done that. I was just like, oh my god, please, can I just leave? So you can't leave until
they're like, no.
Yeah, you can't leave until we say your release. I'm like, I was so angry by the second day, but it was it was an experience. So. Well, if you have any more stories, should we go into Let's Get Shitty?
Yeah. Do you have anything else you want to add, Boo?
I have a farting confession.
Oh.
Okay. Bring it.
So I told you I was on tour with Twirly Whirly, Burley Q a few years ago, and it was this nationwide tour, and we did like 28 shows and in like 30 days, and everyone's in a different city, and you're like, it was this wild, amazing experience. And towards the end of it, we were doing a show at the God, what the name is that? Black Cat in DC.
DC, yeah.
And we had the whole time we were on tour, we ate the same thing every day. We would go to the grocery store once a week and we cook quinoa and vegetables and pre-make a week's worth of food and put it in the Tupperware, and like that's what we ate every day. So needless to say, I was very, very regular. And then this one day we were in DC, we went to like a restaurant before the gig. So I ate something that my body wasn't used to. And I started to have gas. And the thing about showbiz is, of course, it's not cool to fart in the dressing room because there's a bunch of people in there and that sucks. So when I'm, say, at the slipper room and I have to fart in the dressing room, I'll run out to the dressing room and I'll fart on the stage, which also isn't great because everybody has to walk through there too. But sometimes you don't have time to like go anywhere else if you just have to fart.
But it's a larger area.
It's a larger area that air moves around and it'll like air out quicker. So in this dressing room in DC, when we did these tour, like we did everything ourselves. We set up the stage. We like set up the merch. I had a bunch of things I have to do. I have to lay out all these costumes. You have a certain amount of time. You got to do your whole face. Like there's a lot to do. So I mean, it was gas where like most of the farts, some of the farts I could feel coming, and I could like hold it long enough to leave the dressing room to go to like the hallway that was like near a door where air was moving and like fart. But some of them escaped me, okay? And like there wasn't a lot of time. So I let some farts slip in this dressing room and did not take credit for them. And they were not, I mean, it was like stuff in my guts. Like they were bad. They smelled bad. And I was like, well, we just got to just like get through this show. And then we finished the show, packed up the thing, got in the car, driving to the next city. And one of the girls, either Ula or Rosie, brings it up in the car. They go, someone was farting up that dressing room. And the other girl was like, oh my God, someone was farting up that dressing room. That sucked. Like, and somebody goes, I think it was so-and-so. And like fully blamed it on somebody else. And I stayed quiet. And I didn't fess up even afterwards, even in the car to my friends who I let them pass the blame to one of the other people. And every time I see either of those two girls, I'm tempted to confess. So here it is. Here's my farting confession. I was the one farting up the dressing room that night. It was me, and it was rude, and I'm so sorry.
Well, better late than never.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my God, that is so funny.
Sometimes they sneak out, you know?
Yeah.
We're interviewing somebody in a couple of weeks that did that to me, Gerald, and his wife. The entire day we were hanging out in LA, car rides, going to places. And I was like, somebody is fucking farting. And it was so obvious who the person was because the three of us were like, what the fuck? And we're interviewing him in a couple of weeks, and I want to bring it up because he's denying.
Really? So not even just like not saying anything. He was blatantly being like, not me.
Yeah. And to the point he got up and went to the bathroom, and his wife goes, no, that is him. Those are protein shake farts. That is him.
Yeah, like sometimes when I do it, in the before times, I did a weekly show at a little speakeasy in Chelsea called Bathtub Gin, and there's no leaving in the middle of the show. There's no going outside to fart. It's about 45 minutes. I have to run the show, and I will fully just crop dust the room if I got to fart. I won't fart where the people are eating or like in the little corner where we run the sound. I'll wait until I'm walking through the room because then it could be anybody.
Ooh.
They're like, what? What's that? Who's that?
That is my favorite thing to do. If I have to fart in public, I'll find the biggest crowd and just fart in that because then everybody can blame each other.
Yeah. How can they know?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we've all done that. I've done that on the subway a lot.
Crop dust the subway.
You're just kind of like, I just can't.
But have you ever been sitting on the subway and you smell somebody else's fart and in your head you're like, fuck that person?
Oh, yeah.
Like on an airplane. Like we've all farted on airplanes.
Yeah.
Sometimes you have to fart on an airplane.
I put the blanket over my crotch and I'm like, please just don't move. I was like, it's inevitable. Someone's going to smell it. But yeah, it's the worst. It's the fucking worst.
It's the first. And like when you do it, you're like, oh God, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. But then when somebody else do it, you're like, oh,
yeah,
that's so rude.
It's the same thing. Like if you're driving a car, you're like, these fucking pedestrians. If you're a pedestrian, you're like, fuck these cars.
Yes, exactly.
Like, it's exactly the same thing. It's like, yeah, these people have no fucking couth. And meanwhile, you're just like doing the same exact thing in that recycled air tube. Ugh. Well,
everyone's disgusting, I think, is the moral of the story.
Yeah,
I was going to say.
It's true. We're all disgusting. So we've been talking for an hour and a half.
Whoa.
Should we skip Let's Get
shit.
Shitty? No, it's good. No, I'm just giving you a heads up. Should we skip Let's Get Shitty and just go into news? Because I have a news thing that kind of...
Just tell me what is Let's Get Shitty? You complain about stuff?
Yeah. It could be anything.
I'm just going to complain about myself for that time that I farted. We can just make that be Let's Get Shitty. I'm going to take it.
All right, well, Ellen, what do you think? What do you want to do?
Yeah, we could skip Let's Get Shitty. My Let's Get Shitty today wasn't very good anyway.
Yeah, me either. Okay, perfect. So this actually...
being stuck in quarantine, there's only so many things you can complain about.
Well, I'm going to play the news segment, which actually kind of goes into what we were just talking about, your confession. So this is pretty good.
Ooh,
so here we go.
Segue.
So this news story is very apropos for what we just talked about. How many times did you fart in a day? This was by Metro.com, which I believe is a British publication site, and it was in their Metro Science section. And they were going through like Google searches around the world, and one of the millions of Google results or searches that was out there was like, how many times is it like, healthy or like acceptable for one person to fart in a day?
I farted just now as you were saying.
Awesome.
That.
Perfectly. That's great. So the study, or at least these responses from some of these doctors from the NHS. What's that sound?
I don't know.
Somebody's doing something in my kitchen. Should I ask them to stop?
No, I think it's okay. It just when it first kicked up.
It's like
I think
a
it should
blender.
be fine. Yeah, it should be fine now. I don't really hear it. Yeah, so again, the question being like, how many times, is it acceptable to sort of fart, or like normal for it to fart in one day? And the NHS in England basically said that they estimate between 15 times a day is like normal. But according to a place called the digestive health charity Guts UK, they say 40 is actually healthy.
Wow.
Like 40. That's like a lot more.
Do you remember all these farts, or some of them just sneaky?
I guess so, but this is what they're talking about.
40. I bet that would go by quicker than you think. Because aren't some farts just like barely? It's like it comes out, it doesn't smell, it doesn't make a sound.
Yeah.
It's just stuff releasing from your.
And I think a lot of times there's those ones that you don't really know about. It's sort of like, and that
includes while
when
you're
sleeping. Exactly.
Yeah.
I was going to say while you're sleeping. There's tons of those. And like they
Lots
were saying,
of sleep farts.
But what they basically were saying that it's like not really the frequency that's important. It's more like what the smell is, and if it's like really bad, if it's something that it could be any concern, which might be some kind of obviously some kind of digestive thing or some kind of gut health thing.
So should healthy farts not smell at all?
No, I think it's more like if it's noticeable, like these farts are getting smellier, or they like you're having some like issues, and that might be some pause for concern. But cause for concern, and that they were saying like I know, right? They were saying like obviously foods like onions, garlic, and beans generate a lot of gas, so that's kind of normal. Carbonated drinks and all that stuff.
Carbonated drinks.
Yeah, for some people. I mean, I don't really get farty when I drink like I drink a lot of seltzer.
I drink a lot of seltzer.
I
have
never
a soda
get farty.
stream.
Yeah, so maybe it's for soda. Who knows? That's what.
And beer.
Beer for sure.
Beer's a
Beer.
huge-
Beer farts. Yeah.
Yeah, because also the carbohydrates in beer.
Yeah, and they were calling this, and it's so funny because like instead of fartology, like the author we interviewed with the same book, they were calling this. It's actually the study of flatology.
Oh.
Yeah. That's
Flatology.
Flatology. That's the study of farting, which I thought was hilarious. And like, yeah, so again, we've covered some other stuff on the podcast before, where they're saying like basically it's just gas, but it's like made up of like oxygen, nitrogen, and methane, sulfur, and the sulfur is like kind of the worst part of the fart. But yeah, apparently for like these studies, they're saying between I guess 15 and 40 times is a normal amount of farting. So. But I'm sure there's people out there that like I would love to talk to somebody who farts like uncontrollably for like hundreds,
constantly,
like hundreds of times a day, like just this, like it's like they're ruining their whole life kind of thing, like just
completely.
Like the kind of people who can't stop hiccuping for years.
Mm-hmm. It's just like so sad.
Or there's that one guy who couldn't stop burping.
Mm-hmm. Could you imagine?
It would suck.
You're like going on a date. You're like, look, I have this thing. You're getting married. It's like, bah, bah. Do you? Bah. I'd be like, oh, I would take. Look, would you rather have someone who's burping like constantly, or someone who's farting constantly?
Are the farts smelly?
It's a mixed bag. It could. There's times where it's like you don't smell anything, and there's times where you're like want to fucking puke, but it's like a mixed bag.
I think farting.
Yep. Same here.
Because burping, I have a sensitive gag reflex, and just hearing somebody burp that often would make me want to puke.
Yeah,
agreed.
I think I'd go with the farting too, because at least like if you're not if someone's like if your significant other's like in a different room, you're not gonna necessarily like smell it. You might hear it every once in a while, but the burping thing would be like gross.
Also, like what if you're like kissing? Like I guess a fart would kind of ruin the moment too, but a burp, like someone burps into your mouth.
Yeah. Imagine having sex. Burp. I'm almost there. You're like, oh my
and I
God.
guess even if somebody farts while you're fucking, like there's already lots of like human body smells. Like you can just move past it.
I mean, like, yeah, if you're on the edge right there, you're like, dude, whatever. I'll get to that. I'll deal with that later. But burping, you'd be like,
But can
Jesus
you
Christ.
imagine if you're like getting head of some kind, like either getting a blowjob or cunnilingus, and the person was burping into your junk the whole time?
I'll go. What percentage of guys do you think have had their dick puked on?
It's probably a good amount.
Right? Because like
I guess it was guys with big giant
sometimes
dicks.
just are sucking a dick and it goes in, or you know.
It's like, blah!
Have you puked on a dick, Ellen?
I have.
I bet a lot of women have puked on dicks.
That's the
In my
best.
20s, I
Personally,
totally
haven't.
did.
I mean, that's gross, but that's kind of like the best like form of like flattery. You're like, yeah, man.
I made her puke with my big dick.
You're like, yeah.
Oh, I forgot to tell you guys that I sharted 2 days ago.
Oh, at least you were home.
I wasn't home. I was sitting on a park bench.
Oh, well, even scarier.
Man, a sharp bench.
And I didn't know it was a shart until I was like, oh, I should go to the bathroom. So I went to the bathroom and it was a shart.
It's
sad.
New York City summers.
Yeah, man.
It was because I had coffee before it was a coffee incident.
Yeah. New York, and also, I feel like New York City summers, you get that swamp ass, and it's like the
Yeah,
combination.
you can't even tell, is that sweat in there or just a little bit of stuff?
That is the worst. Like the whole butt sweat, like moisture. You just don't feel. You're like, this is not. No.
Last summer, I talked about that a lot on the podcast. I was like, there were so many times I totally thought I sharted, and it was just ass sweat.
I remember like growing up, like skateboarding with my friends in the summer, and then like you used to be sitting there hanging out, like drinking a soda or something like that, and you're bored, and then, like you get up, it's like all the butt sweat, like outlines, like on the grip tape. I used to be like, I'm fucking disgusting.
Yeah.
I'm like, whatever. There's no girls around here, so I don't care. Because I'd be like, oh my God, I'd be humiliated if I showed it to someone I actually liked. I'm like, hey, what's up, Jenny, or whatever. Oh my God. Well, Boo Bess, thank you so much for being on the show.
Yeah.
Of course, thanks for having me.
You delivered some amazing stories, some
Yes,
really
my
funny admissions and
Confessions.
confessions. Yes.
Also,
all
where
good.
can people find you on the social medias?
I'm at Banana Land on Instagram.
Banana Land.
Banana Land.
Yeah, go check it out. So yeah, stay safe out there, and we'll talk to you guys next time.
Happy pooping. Toot, toot, toot.
Hey Poopy Podcast is brought to you by Perfect 4 Entertainment. Produced by Dave and Ellen, with executive producer Stormy Leather. Edited by me, Dave.
For more information, go to heypoopypodcast.com for episodes, merch, and more. Follow us on Instagram at Hey Poopy Podcast and